everyone, this is your host Prasha, and welcome to her STEM Stories, episode number 88. And today we'll be talking about how to effectively set up goals for 2020. So, what is the secret to setting up really efficient and effective goals for next year? So, you just need a pen and paper. And make sure you're not driving because you don't want to do some of these exercises while driving. And let's get started so you can have the best goals for 2020. The biggest secret about good and effective goal setting is clarity. And clarity is something that we don't spend a lot of time on. We really feel like things should happen faster and time is running out and I need to do a lot of things in the next 12 months. So we always overestimate what we can do in a year, and we always underestimate what we can accomplish in 5 years and 10 years. So 5 and 10 years is a long time, and I don't expect you to jumpstart your goal setting with 5 and 10 years, but 1 year is doable. So 12 months goal setting, as I said, sometimes we always actually overestimate what we can do in a year. And if we don't follow a strategy to set up our goals, we are likely to disappoint ourselves. And that's why this is such an important practice. I started doing goal setting about 2-3 years ago. And ever since then, I've started the podcast. I have started my public speaking. I do so many other things at work and after work. It's just such a great thing because I get to set up goals and then I go and achieve them. And even if I don't, I learn so much in the process. So that's why this episode is so special, because I want to give you the tools to actually set up really good goals for yourself in 2020. And this is just the first half of it. So this is all about clarity. So before we start, I definitely want you to make sure that you think about 2 or 3 categories of your life that you really want to excel in 2020. So, for example, in my case, it's finances, it's health, and it's growing my side hustle. So these are the 3 things I'm focusing on in 2020. So it's really great to categorize your life in some of these big buckets so that you don't overwhelm yourself, because once you go down the path of overwhelm, it can be really hard to pursue clarity. So think about those big 2 or 3 categories that you're going to focus on in your goal setting. And from there, the first step is to get really clear about where you are today in all those categories. So it's really important to assess your current situation and be really truthful and honest about where you are in these categories. So in my case, I don't pay a lot of attention to my finances, so I need to get good at them. And in my case, I could even write down the amount of money I have in savings and the things that I think are, kind of off balance, like debt or student loans and stuff like that. And then in side hustle, I can say, yeah, I don't have a business plan. I need to work on a business plan. Like currently, I don't have any product or service offerings, and I don't have a revenue stream. So that can be on my side hustle, like my current state. And my health, yeah, I'm on and off with my health, and I don't follow a good health, a routine for maintaining, a healthy body. And I always get either bored of programs or I don't finish them. So currently, not on a routine for workouts. So that's my truth. So it's definitely really important to think about those clearly, taking time, writing those down. You could do free journaling. One of my favorite tools, set up a timer, 10 minutes on your phone, and just write your heart out. What do you think, where you are at? Be extremely honest with yourself. Don't be self-deprecating. It's not about you're a good person or bad person, or, oh my God, you're so terrible that you didn't achieve, that you're not at a better place by now. It's just about assessing without judgment. So put the judgment away and just state facts, state where you're at, and be honest about it. And it can also mean, in case of health, it can also mean the fact that, mindfulness, or, I feel really rushed, or I feel really frustrated or anxious, or whatever that may look like for your situation. And then let that lead you into where you want to be in 12 months. And if this is your first time thinking about goals and taking the strategy on, don't go any further than 12 months, because this is your first time. You don't want to, again, you want to avoid all kinds of overwhelm, and you want to avoid all kinds of things that may distract you or create more noise that can take you away from the clarity part. So that's why, don't worry about it. Just 12 months, and let that place from where you are today, let that lead you into where you want to be in 12 months. And one of the vision exercises that I love to do is to close my eyes. And that's why I said in the beginning, don't be driving while listening to this, because I don't want you to close your eyes if you're driving. And if you're not driving, and then make sure you're sitting comfortably, and close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. So 1 in, 1 out, 2, 3. And then I want you to imagine yourself a year from now, let's say December 17th, 2020. And I want you to see what you see. Like, let the vision come to you in all those 3 areas of your life. Just think without rules. Just imagine that this year was the best year of your life. Everything went the way you wanted it to go. Nothing went wrong. Come from a place of positivity and ambition and love and respect for yourself, and imagine that. Imagine what that looks like in a year in all those areas. If it's finances, what does it feel like? If it's work related, how does it feel like to be successful at work? If it's health, what does it look like for you to be healthy? And just stay in this place for a few minutes. And then come out by taking 3 deep breaths. 1, 2, 3. It feels great to do this exercise because this can really send you in the future. This is so wonderful because you can get all the images and visions that you want. I've done this with so many people, and it works really well because it really grounds you in taking the time to think about your future, because we don't even think about it with an open mind and with a peaceful mind. So that's why I put in that little prompt in there, because I want you to do this exercise, and I want you to set a timer for like 5 minutes and just do this, and let the vision come to you, because it will come to you. You'll see some things that will be really interesting. So for a lot of people, it's locations. For me, it's always our home. For me, it's also sometimes just these signs of comfort, if you will. But it can be so many different things. But when you think about them specifically in these 3 areas, you could start thinking like in terms of my side hustle. Like what comes to me is that I'm getting paid for it. I'm getting paid for the speaking gigs. I have products and services, and I have clients, and it makes me really excited. And so you have to let those visions come to you, and let that goal come to you. Let that feeling come to you, because it's more important about how you feel. And so coming out of that, you should have a couple of things that you saw. It can be like from health standpoint. Sometimes I see, like, I would think about it and I would be like, yeah, if I was running, that would be really healthy. So cool. Like that means running may be a thing, but also the fact that I'm working out. That's what I want from my health. And so think about that, because you want to feel how it will feel in a year, and be patient with yourself, because again, this is just a grounding exercise, and I really want you to think about what it would look like in 12 months in those categories. Then once you have those 2 or 3 items, like what you want in a year. So for me, it's also like I want to make enough money from my side hustle to be able to to have more savings. So my side hustle and my finance goals are very related. So that ways I can, double my savings, and I could have a more secured future, or I could have more investments and that kind of stuff. And so for me, that's a certain number. So you can have a certain number for that 1 year vision. You could say I want to make X amount of dollars in my next job. Or so you could say like you want to make X amount of dollars in your next position from your side hustle. You want to double your savings. You want to work out 5 days a week or 3 days a week, or you want to reach your optimal weight, whatever that looks like for you, or you want to, incorporate working out in your daily schedule, that kind of stuff. So I hope you can, from that vision, kind of work your way backwards into what these future states would look like to your current states that you've already written. And then spend some time on the whys. So this is where you want to spend the most of your time. So set up your timer for like 15, 20 minutes, or even 30, I would say, and do a 5 why exercise. So 5 why is something that's used in the industry very often. In Lean Sigma, it's a very powerful tool to get to the bottom of a root cause. And all you do is just keep asking yourself, why? Why do you want to make more money? Why do you want to get a promotion? Why do you want to start a side hustle? Why do you care about this blogging or podcast or whatever? But you keep asking yourselves those why till you get to the bottom of the why. So a lot of my 5 why exercises always lead me to, I'm afraid that I will not reach my full potential. Now, that's really scary for me because I think I have so much to offer that if I don't achieve these goals, I may not reach my full potential. Or from finance point of view, it's like, it's really important for me to ensure that my family and my family is like protected and safe, and money shouldn't be a problem. Or it's really, really important for me to have the resources to continue to support the community and continue to do this work that makes me so happy. And if it's not sustainable, there are more reasons that I may not do it anymore. So you got to think about that why. Why is it that I want it? And when you ask yourself those 5 whys, you're going to end up with really powerful whys. So for example, the reason I do the podcast and I want to grow the podcast and I want to do so much more with this is because it's so important to me to spread the stories of women in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and to inspire the next generation of women in STEM. And that is a really powerful why for me. So you need to remember the why. For health issues, like a lot of people have the why that, I don't want to be sick, or I've seen my family member struggle with obesity and I don't want to be that person, and I really want to live a healthy life. And your why can be so strong that it can really help you understand and get to the bottom of your desires. Now, it's not the what that will drive you, it's the why that will drive you to the right goals and to the right effort that you need to achieve those goals. So anchor yourself in the whys and assess what capabilities you're missing to meet your 12-month vision. So, we started with your current situation, things that you're not particularly happy with, or things that are currently not working out, to what that would look in 12 months if everything went well, and if you were to be happy with those 3 categories or 2 categories of your life, what would that look like in a year if everything went well? And then we discussed a little bit about the whys, because the whys are so important and you need to ground yourself in those whys. And those are the whys that are going to push you to think really deeply and strongly about these things that you really want to aspire towards. And those whys now should lead you into thinking about what are the capabilities I'm missing. So for example, if I want to start a blog in 12 months and I'm not really good at writing, I need to think about learning how to write properly, or learning about blogging. So that is one capability. And for example, if I want to do things in the public speaking space and I have not done any public speaking, then I may need to join Toastmasters, a local Toastmasters chapter in the US, or take an online course on public speaking. Same thing, like for example, if I'm struggling with finances and I want to do a better job at managing my finances, then I need to take a course on personal finances, because those are things that are not necessarily taught in schools. And so once you have those capabilities listed down, now that 12-month vision is not going to look that difficult to achieve. It's going to actually look really easy. It's going to make sense that what are the capabilities I need for this vision to come alive, right? So we're currently doing something which is really powerful. And if you did it now, and if you understood this properly, now you can build goals around these capabilities. So for example, if I said I want to be a movie star in 12 months, and I got to the capabilities part and I said, oh, wait a minute, I don't think it's possible in 12 months to learn everything there is to about acting. And maybe I need to break that goal down. So that's the power of clarity. Once you have clarity, once you understand all these different steps, you can now really take charge of your future, because now you can really assess things that you really need to get there. And the clarity tool really helps with this, and that's why I love it. And this year I plan to use it for my goal setting. So I plan to use it for my personal goal settings, because this way I can really prepare myself for the vision that I really want to achieve, and then come back to really good and smart goals that I can then use for the next 12 months, and hopefully get to the vision that I am imagining and I want, right? I'm visualizing. And so we will discuss the SMART goals next week, because we will break down what SMART goals mean, and we'll also discuss some other key things you can do to set yourself for success when it comes to goal setting. So I hope this was helpful. I hope this made sense. And I really hope that this brings you the value that it has brought to me and to a lot of my, community members who have reached out. And, we've done this together during the Wonder Women in STEM online workshop. And it was really, really cool. So I am going to share the link in the episode notes, so you can go download the tool. You can print it out and do it for yourself. Come back to the episode, listen to it as many times as you like. And if you like our show, please subscribe, rate, and review our podcast so more people can find us. And I'll see you again on Wednesday with a brand new Her STEM Story interview. And then I'll see you next week with Smart Goal Setting episode. And until then, thank you so much for listening. Bye.